How significant would it be, guys? Both John Wall and Bradley Beal are out in Vegas trying out for the Team USA. And obviously Wall has probably an outside chance of making the team given all the other point guards that are there. But Bradley Beal is a pretty fair chance of making it. Anyway, the question here is how significant for the Wizards would it be for Beal and Wall to both make the team, Scott?
I think first and foremost, it would give them an opportunity to play with KD 2 years in advance.
Good point. Way to go straight, cut right to the heart.
I think it would say a lot about, we already know kind of as Wizards fans that the future of this team is in good hands. And I think the Wizards and the Warriors are the only two teams with two guys who could potentially make the roster.
Steph Curry, right.
So it would say a lot. It would be a great experience for them both. I think it's unlikely that they'll both make the team, and I think the odds are stacked, like you said, a little bit more against John Wall. But the other thing I would say about John Wall, were he to not make the team, he's a guy who's kind of been fueled by feeling rejected throughout his career, not making the McDonald's All-American game in high school, not being National Player of the Year, not being NBA Rookie of the Year, and look at how it's kind of
National Player of the Year.
But he's the guy who kind of feeds off of that. So if I'm a Wizards fan, it's not the end of the world if he doesn't make the team.
Mike, how significant?
I think it'd be huge because the notion that in 2 years, boys and girls in this country who are not Wizards fans could buy number 2 USA basketball jerseys, and they could say Wall, and the other could be 3, and it could say Beal. I mean, it just brings a different identity to your franchise. And this franchise has struggled with, I guess, luring the type of free agent like a Kevin Durant for forever, simply because it's Washington. Well, if Wall and Beal are in the Olympics, it's Washington. And it's a much different feel. I think it'd be huge.
We're not talking about the Olympics quite yet. But.
Well, it's not. Yeah, we're talking about the World Cup.
Still, but if you're in that feeder system, somebody gets hurt, you're one of the guys.
Yeah, you're right. But I think that there are guys who have pulled out of this who would be much less likely to beg out from the Olympics. But yeah, I totally agree with you from like a buzz standpoint. For free agents, for national fans, for national TV games, I think for stuff like that, it's not insignificant. And I think there's also getting experience. You know, they played whatever it was, 11 extra games this year because of the playoffs. But, you know, there are guys that regularly are playing 20, 25, 30 extra games with the playoffs, with international basketball. And I think having these guys play against the best players in the world doesn't hurt.
But underlying factor, the Kevin Durant exposure. Way to come right to the chase. I love it.
He was asked about it, yes. I mean, it's going to be 2 years of the stuff we know.
I think it's great.
We're going to figure out a way to get Durant to the show every week.
As a guest?
As a guest, maybe. Hey, he comes back into town all the time.
I'll give
up
my spot if you.
If the Durantula came to Washington, I'd start wearing a jersey to games, on press row. I don't care.
Just be careful when you're playing those pickup games, not to blow out your Achilles.